When you go on a 5,000 mile road trip, there's going to be some epiphanies. Over the past 11 days, we travelled to the top of Norway from our home here in Wiltshire and then all the way back. It was incredible. Absolutely stunning, and it really made us step back and think. Hi, my name's Charlotte, and I welcome you to my art studio here in Wiltshire in the UK. And I'm gonna go on a bit of a ramble about where I want my art to go next and where you might come along with me. Whilst doing this, I have some scrap wool, scrap yarn that I'm going to rewind, as I have a whole box of scraps. So this is one of the IKEA Kallax boxes, and she's almost full. But I do love a bit of scrap yarn for various projects. So I'm going to be doing that while having a little talk with you. All right, I can put my feet up now. Oh dear. So, as you've probably just heard, we did a 5,000 mile, so that's 8,000 kilometre road trip. And that's just rounding to the nearest thousand. Why? Because we were there. So we went over to Helsinki purposefully. And we kind of had this crazy notion of, oh, you know, while we're here, we could just drive to the top of Norway to a place called Nordkapp. And Nordkapp contains the highest road accessible point, or most northern road accessible point. I've lost my wall. In Europe, in mainland Europe. Obviously you've got islands and such, but mainland drivable Europe. And we just turned around to each other and we said, do you want to do it? And we went, yeah. So it was an amazing drive. If you ever get the chance to go to Norway, like middle of Norway, middle of nowhere, Denmark, middle of nowhere, Netherlands, honestly do it. Even if it's just to travel through for a day, it's a very different landscape. It's a very, in most places, natural and untouched. The Netherlands definitely utilise the space because there's a limited amount of it compared to other countries. However, it's still beautiful nevertheless. And this gave us a chance to talk. It's been a difficult couple of years for us. We lost my mother-in-law to cancer and we lost our first child. And from previous bouts with grief, I myself do not deal with it very well at all. And I like to dig myself into the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So when the opportunity arises, I will just put myself on the next project. When my husband and I first met and first started dating, I was that person who kind of said yes to most things. And I'd put my all into it, and I'd get very stressed and a little bit burnt out, as some may say, but mainly stressed. So I have, over the years that we've been together, reduced my tendency to do that, but it hasn't stopped the wonderful sensation of doing the next thing. or getting something for the next thing, which is why I, for example, have the Project Buster series and a whole jar that's sitting right up there to hold myself accountable for all the projects I have. And alas, I am not doing any of those at the moment, and that will be revealed soon. So I go on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And I've had the realisation that I shouldn't do that for a little while. My artwork is very much an emotional release for myself. So if you look at the lines piece that I did that's on the channel, it's a very emotional piece for me. I think that was all that's wrong. And it's just because everything was so overwhelming. It was just like the first time you look at the piece, it's like, wow, there's so much in there. But in actual fact, it's just one line after one line after one line. And someone recently, at an event I did called Mold Broken Studios, they said that you've got a way out with every single one because there is a beginning and an end. And honestly, I hadn't thought of it that way. Like all the pieces of work that I do that kind of block each other off don't have that escape, but this one did, and it felt very different to hear that. And people looking through my sketchbooks and seeing older pieces of work that I've done and being like, oh yeah, I remember that, I really like that one, and wanting to play around with those concepts and things more. And you know, I save things on Instagram and Facebook of all the Zentangles that they're called, which is similar to what I do with my line drawings, but in a more, how do I put it, in a more consciously meditative kind of way. I do it as an outlet of emotion, because I call myself an artist of emotion. And so, yeah, it's quite interesting to see sort of like almost the commercial side of it. But leading on to kind of where I want to go with my work, my epiphany was that I need to stop making projects for myself. Because I've already given myself almost a project this year, and that is in my artwork to explore. So my word of the year is explore, whether that's physically out and about with materials, in my studio, kind of anything and everything about exploring. So this year I've picked up loads of different materials from all over the world. Japan, I've just got some from Denmark, and obviously here in the UK, everywhere from B&Q with their wallpaper samplers to paint to different drawing boards, all sorts. And sorry, I was counting. And I said to myself, I want to play around. I want to like properly have a look at, you know, what I can do with these things and how I can stretch them. And I've kind of fallen into the lines. I do this every so often. I find a thing that I'm like, yes, I want to draw this. I want to do this. Like just ha ha ha. And I go a bit obsessive. So I'm gonna step it back a bit. To put it simply, I'm gonna step it back and I am going to just sit with it, sit with my materials, and you know, I've got a million sketchbooks. I don't have to stay in one, and I've got, you know, hundreds of ideas in my head, and I think I really need to just let it out. So my first thing is more play, more screw it, more trying it out, more just going for it. Sorry, I was creaking. That was really annoying. My second thing is to start building a collection. So I've said to myself, I want to build a bit of a collection over the next few years, months, days, so that I can turn around and be like, oh, I want to put a piece in for this exhibition and not have to worry about if I get accepted into this one, will it have to go there or there or there? It means that I have a bit of a catalogue, so that when I do show things, I have multiple things. But it also means it's quite exciting to share and be a part of. And I would really like to start reaching for more exhibitions, both locally and nationally, as well as prepping in the long term for a solo exhibition, somewhere with a little bit of affluence. So I want to make sure that, you know, I've got the work, but also I've really played around with it. So there's a quite famous psychology study in which a group of students was split into two groups, and one half the group said, you've got 10 weeks to create as much as you can, and then a final piece. And the second group were told, you've got 10 weeks to create the best piece of artwork, a single piece of artwork, the best piece of artwork that you can. And the results were that group one, who explored, who played, who tried lots of different things, created much better outcomes because they tried. They learned. Whereas group two stuck with what they knew. They didn't really learn new techniques, or they didn't try anything else, or just all these different kind of aspects. And I want to be in group one. I want to know that I've tried loads of different things. I want to know that I've attempted and played and explored. Which leads me on to number 3. So at the moment I try to create 2 YouTube videos a week, and that is a lot of work. So I also run a fitness studio here in Wiltshire, and so doing the fitness studio pretty much full time, plus this, plus actually creating artwork, that's a lot of energy. So I am going to reduce it to once a week starting today, and I'm hoping that that's going to give me a little bit more time and space, but it's also going to give me a little bit more time to actually sit down and be like, oh okay, no, I want to share this, rather than sharing a bit of everything like I am at the moment. So what I'm going to aim to do is at the probably tail end of the month, I am going to do a overview of projects. So the project buster will still be around, where I try to complete some of the craft projects I have, but also yeah, it just gives me a bit of space. Because to film, edit, schedule, all of it, it's, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot. It is a lot. So I'm just hoping it takes some pressure off. But with that, I'm gonna try and post on the gram a little bit more frequently. Because I'm on there with business anyway, so it's kind of like, no, let's share a little bit of that. So if you are on Instagram, Charlotte Snipe Art, please and thank you. So bringing them all three together of actually playing, creating a catalogue of work and giving myself a bit more space by not creating as many YouTube videos. Sorry, I'm almost at the end. These three little changes I think are going to make a big impact, and I'm hoping that it'll be quicker rather than longer term, but I know that's not how this happens, but I'm hoping as well it will give me some space, some time and space for opening the door to grief, for allowing me to process all the emotions I have, because it's complicated. Grief is never simple. And I'm kind of hoping that journey will come out in my work, in how I post, in, you know, the continual update of my website, which I still need to finish off, because that was another project this year. And creating that time and space for me again. Because as wonderful as it is sharing everything with you twice a week, I think I need to take some of that back. To give myself time, space mentally, physically, emotionally. And also, I'm hoping it means that when I do update you all, it means it's a little bit more special. And with that, I finish my second scrap ball of the day. I pop it in my box and I will catch up with you now next week. Thank you for listening to my little rambles and what I want to do with my artwork over the insert time frame here. Who knows? But I hope that you'll continue to take this journey with me as I explore and create. I'll speak to you soon.